Okay, part of the reason why I'm making this video is sort of for myself. There are a lot of tutorials out there on how to make a super flipped cube, but a lot of them are just a bit complicated, so I thought I'd make my own version that's hopefully easier to understand. So that's where every corner of the cube is correctly solved, but every edge might be in place, but it's flipped, and this is happening all over the cube. It looks pretty cool on a 3x3, but do it to a bigger cube, and that's where you get really cool patterns happening. I mean, this is just so pretty. It almost makes me think of like a basket weave. Now there are people who can literally do something like a basket weave on large cubes, but the super flip is actually pretty easy to do. A much easier pattern that most people know how to do is the checkerboard pattern, of course. Here it is on my 11x11. And you know, it looks cool, but this one's just cooler. I mean, I haven't tried timing myself, but theoretically, this could be done in a few seconds. Hey, okay, so how do you actually do it? It is, in essence, 24 moves, or 3 rounds of the same 8 moves to perform one layer of the super flip pattern. So for 3x3, I only needed to do that once, and I've produced the entire pattern. But for the 9x9, I had to do it 1, 2, 3, 4 times to produce that pattern. Okay, let's start with the 3x3. The 8 moves that you have to do 3 times are this: M prime U prime, M prime U prime, M prime U prime, M prime U prime. That's it, 4 rounds of the same thing. There are other tutorials that tell you to do like an M or a U, but I find that this one works a lot better for me. Then you repeat the same thing 2 more times, but rotate the cube between each of those times. It doesn't really matter which way you're holding the cube when you first start. I'm just going green front, white top because, you know, that's traditional scrambling starting point. As long as you rotate it this way. So you start, you do your 8 moves here, and then notice how I'm rotating it. I'm doing an X and a Y. For those of you who aren't too familiar with those notations, I just think of it this way. See white, green, red? I just make sure that white, green, red is always sort of facing this way. And so my first rotation from white on top is going to go to green on top, but these 3 colors are still facing this way. And then my next rotation is going to be like this, with red on top. So once again, white on top, and we're going to do those 8 moves, and then green on top, do those 8 moves, and finally red on top, do those 8 moves. All right, so I've done my first 8 moves in this orientation. I'm going to rotate like this, do those same 8 moves again, M prime U prime, M prime U prime, M prime U prime, M prime U prime, and then the same 8 this way. And there you go, it is that easy. Now you can do a super flip to a 4x4, but because it's not an odd number of pieces, you're not gonna get that like exact sort of like, you know, checkerboardy pattern. The next one you probably wanna do it with is the 5x5. So same principle here. Now you might think that your M and U move is like this, but what that's actually doing is moving just a single slice on the top layer. And if you think about it, like 2 slices in these 2 side layers. So the first layer of the super flip should actually be done like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how 8 moves this way. Rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8. Rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And as you can see, I've now put this into a single like super flip pattern, just like the 3x3. The next and last step for the 5x5 is to do the next layer in. And so now we're going to do this, because if you think about it, that's actually moving a double layer on the outside. So that, and then 2 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rotate, do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I count just to get to my 8. Finally here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go, that's my super flip pattern. So you're probably getting a good idea now of how it works, but one last time, let's show you how to do it with the 7x7. So this is going to need 3 rounds of that super flip pattern, so 3 times 24 moves in total, and I hope I don't mess it up. So here we go. That first M is going to be like this. 3, 4, and then rotate like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Second layer is now going to be this. So remember, what I'm essentially doing is I'm moving like 2 on the outside away. So actually now, instead of doing M slices that way, I might actually do this, because that's the same thing. So 1, oops, 2, 3, 4. Whoa. I keep accidentally turning 3 layers. Rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I should be able to tell if I did that right, because all over the cube it should look like it's like a half super flip pattern, which actually on its own is quite pretty. I could even leave it like this, but I'm gonna finish the whole thing with the final one. So this time I'm gonna go 3 layers. So 3 and 3, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go, 7x7 super flipped. Now I was originally going to end the video here because, you know, I'm done. And then I remembered I've got this guy. I have not dared to do anything to my 15x15 apart from just going like a checkerboard pattern, because if I mess this thing up, which is, as you can see, is quite easy to do if you just make a tiny mistake, I don't know if I want to actually solve it. But I guess I'm just gonna have to man up and give it a go. And if I fail, then I guess today will be the day that I do that 15x15 solve. Wish me luck. Let's see if I can get the first layer done right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do that right? Yes, I did. That's my first one done right. How many more times am I gonna have to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more times. Okay, let's speed things up. Okay, so far so good. I think I can't spot any errors yet. This is looking a little bit like some kind of like weird Twilight Zone soccer ball or something. Anyway, let's keep going. I really feel like I'm messing this up. Come on, buddy. 3. And 4. Yo! There it is. Oh, my hands hurt so much. That is actually so beautiful. Look at that, the 15x15 super flipped. Now I realize this isn't the biggest cube out there. There are 17s available. If I ever get my hand on one of those, that'll definitely happen. But oh man, can we just stop to admire? Just like how these little guys are admiring. They're like, whoa, when I grow up I want to be like you. That took like 15 minutes to do. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but like this patch looks purple when I spin it really fast. Science. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was enjoyable and maybe even helpful. And all the best with your super flips. See ya. Super flipped. Woo!